Okay.
System engineer is a kind of a generic term like we use here at Infosys. And so service-based company kind of train their employees into that particular domain, or you will get a
Mhm.
chance to become a kind of power programmer. And it's a cool profile at Infosys.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Learning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So guys, in today's podcast, we will be discussing about different aspects of working in service-based firm. And our guest for today's podcast, he's working as a system engineer at Infosys. So he will touch upon different topics like what kind of work you will be getting in service-based firm, and the comparison between service-based and product-based, what is the work culture and the kind of tech stack service-based companies used to follow, how you closely work with the clients, what are the pros and cons. And also we will be specifically talking about the system engineer profile at Infosys, because sometimes people used to get confused that it is a kind of support role. So I will try to get that answer from our speaker as well, that what kind of role it is a development role, testing role, or the support role. So we'll get that clarification, and what are the different challenges, national level challenges, and some amazing high paying profiles in Infosys. So this kind of discussion we will be having in today's podcast. So make sure to watch this till the end, and if you are liking this kind of content on my channel and you are new to my channel, then make sure to subscribe the channel and press that notification icon. And since I also talked about the use of latest tech stack, tech frameworks, and you are someone who is new to the industry and trying to enhance your skill sets in the development side, whether it is the fundamentals of computer science, and looking forward for a good dedicated resource, then here Coding Ninjas can help you in that journey, because they have curated good content on different topics, fundamentals, the development side. Coding Ninjas definitely can help you on that. I will quickly show you the kind of courses they have created. If you are someone who is trying to brush up their fundamentals, foundations, and data structures algorithm related in different languages, then you have C++, Java, and basics of computer science like operating system, competitive programming courses, Python courses, right? So these things will definitely help you. And if we talk about the development side, they have also created advanced courses like Android development, web development using React.js, Node.js, and different latest technologies. And nowadays, definitely the big data domain is booming a lot, and there are good requirements for the good data scientists, data engineers, data analysts, this kind of profiles. So if you are looking forward for those kind of advanced courses and just trying to move into that domain, they have also created the courses for machine learning and data science and machine learning complete course. So this kind of thing can definitely help you to move in that domain. So if you want to enroll yourself in these courses as soon as possible, you will get the early bird discount. But if you use the link which is in the description, you will get the 15% extra discount on top of the early bird discount. But the catch is that link will be valid till the 14th of June. I mean, you need to register yourself, and for availing that coupon, that will be applicable till 14th of June, and by 20th of June you can enroll yourself. So hurry up, use that link and get the amazing discount for amazing courses. And now without any further ado, we will quickly jump on to our podcast part. Hey, hi Siddharth, thanks for joining us today in this podcast, and I hope whatever journey you will share with our audience and different perspective of service based firm, it will help the audience. So first I would ask you to introduce yourself, and how about your academic background?
Yeah, so thank you so much. First of all, I would definitely say this, Sasank, for inviting me here. It's been a great honor and privilege to be
My
in your
pleasure.
channel and to have an opportunity, to share whatever I have experienced to your audience. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. And yeah, my name is Siddharth Singh Soda, and I'm a systems engineer at Infosys. Basically, I joined Infosys in August 2019, and I completed
Okay.
here around 2 years. So yeah, it's been a great journey. I joined as a system engineer trainee, and then I promoted to systems engineer. And
Okay.
yeah, so before that, if I talk about my academics, then I'm BTech. I have done BTech in electronics and communication engineering, and I
Okay.
got on-campus placement basically in Infosys from my college there.
So after your college life, Siddharth, how's your journey has been so far at Infosys? Like you are about to complete 2 years there. So during this period, what all things you enjoyed there? What all things, I mean, on a higher level, what all things you learned? Because we will definitely talk about this one in a deeper way in coming questions. So just share that like journey or your experience at Infosys so
Okay,
far.
so yeah, my experience is like the journey is quite great. The best part of my journey is the Infosys Mysore training, because at the time of
Okay.
training we basically have a different culture peoples, they come together, and there is a kind of unity and diversity kind of feel we basically get there. And so that experience
Great.
is one of the best one, I would say, and nobody will deny also. So that's yeah, so
Okay.
that's one thing. And apart from that, yeah, the training what we learned there, I got trained in Meanstack. So after like learning there and building a projects, and then I basically promoted to at my post at DC in Pune. So there I basically promoted to a systems engineer role. And yes, and then basically at the starting I was on a kind of bench, and we generally have a kind of bench period at service based companies. So
Okay.
yeah, and that depends how much you basically stay at. But in Infosys we have a really good thing, zero bench kind of thing we follow, where you basically engage in different projects and different like tasks where you engage
Okay.
yourself. So I also doing
Okay.
that. I was doing certifications, was doing some task, pick some task, and then I basically get into a project. And basically then I started working in React.js as a UI developer. And yeah, so
Okay.
that's the journey start of like getting into project. And then yeah.
Infosys has a very common and specific profile named as system engineer, right? It is really common, like you might have heard about, or even we used to hear about different profiles like software engineer, particular company, and then let's say data engineer in a different company. But they have a very common profile. I'm not sure like how they distributed later that okay, you are a front end guy, you are a back end guy, but the common one is the system engineer. So can you explain more about it? Because most of the times freshers are really curious about to know, because they think like it is a support role, because it sounds like a support role like system engineer. So can you clarify that?
Yeah, that's true actually. Yes, that's true. It sounds like, but yeah, it's not exactly the support role, I would say.
Okay.
Basically, yeah, it is a comprises of different roles where tester comes under it, developer also comes under it, and as you said that the support role also comes under it. So
Okay.
system engineer is a kind of a generic term like we use here at Infosys, and in it we basically have sub terms where if you are a developer, you can be a system engineer. Same with the tester and the support role also. So basically, it depends on
Okay.
how you, I mean, which projects you are getting in. Like you are in basically. Suppose if you are in development project, you will be a system engineer, and you basically work related to the development stuff. Same with tester and same with support role. So yeah, it's not that
Okay.
support role, but yeah, it is comprises of all the different roles actually.
Now you talked about the profile and the roles and responsibilities. So how is the work life and work distribution in service based firm, right? So like do we work on specific projects only or multiple projects with multiple clients?
Firstly, I will talk about the work life. How is the work here, and how the work distribution is actually here. So
Yeah.
so work life is quite. It's not that hectic. First of all, I mean, at the time of deliverables, at the time of project deadlines, it happens like it becomes quite hectic. So I feel that
Right.
it's quite manageable. It's not that hectic. Work life is good, and apart from the work, also we have different. Things like where you can indulge yourself kind of as per your interest or passion. We have different clubs, and also many
Okay.
things going on continuously, where workshops going on, certifications you can do and explore more also. So along with work, these things also
Okay.
there. So that's a good part. And apart from that, as you ask about the like how it is like as a single client or kind of multiple clients basically. So it depends like
Yeah. Right.
yeah, so it depends how which project you are in and how which project you get, because I have seen people who are basically indulged with multiple clients and multiple projects, and I have in
Okay.
even myself I'm in a single for a single client, a single project actually. So it depends
Okay.
how which project you got. And generally it happens for most of the cases we have single project and single like for working for single client. But yeah, in
Okay.
that parent client, if they had some multiple projects going on, so you will also explore those multiple projects. And so that depends on a project to project basically.
What about the learning curve in service based firms, right? So generally in product based, definitely this is, or why I'm asking this question, this is the concern. I mean, from the fresher's perspective, okay, if I'll be joining the service based firm, what would be my learning curve? Whether I'll get a chance to work on latest tech frames, tech stack. So they are mostly concerned about this thing. So according to your experience, what is the learning curve in the service based firm? Do you work on latest tech stack, or it's just company or client specific tool and tech stack?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, so learning curve is really great at Infosys. I mean, I have experienced this. They have a really good learning platform in which you will
Okay.
almost find everything. I mean, whatever you want to learn, you will definitely
Mhm.
get that, and the hands-on, the practical stuff also there. So the
Okay.
that part is really good here. In most of the cases, you will definitely get that it is basically the client who approaches the kind of service-based firms, or maybe service-based
Right.
firms also attract some client by having their resources, and then so basically it's a kind of a client need. First of all, they say that
Okay.
we want this kind of stuff, we want that kind of project, that kind of work to be there. So service-based company kind of train their employees into that particular domain or that stack. So it's first of all like it is client-based. And yes,
Okay.
there are projects. I would definitely say this. There are multiple ample projects here. They are in different latest stack also. Like currently, as I was trained in Mean Stack, I have also seen my friends that are trained in like Swift, iOS development, Android development was there, and AI ML was there definitely. So it basically also depends on the business requirement and the project needs. So where, I mean, what kind of client this company has, and in which stack they want them to, I mean, work, how their employees gonna be. So that actually follows. But yes, projects are there. Latest stack also is there. Like
Okay, Siddharth. So we talked about the tech stacks, profiles, and most of the things we covered. So according to you, what are the advantages of working in a service-based firm?
so yeah, so I think there are some advantages. Like first of all, being a fresher or being a trainee, you get that much of exposure in which you basically can interact with the high profile clients, right? I don't think see
Great.
that at that level, I mean at the fresher level, you are getting interactions and opportunity, right? Kind of to have.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree on that part.
Yeah, so even I'm working since like 1 point, it's like 1.5 year I'm in this project, and I'm daily interacting with those clients, and I'm understanding their needs, and accordingly delivering those stuff whatever I'm building, and according, so that's
Yeah.
at this point of level, I mean at this fresher level, I can say that you have that kind of exposure. So that's first of the great one. And apart from that, I think the another advantage is will be, if you are a kind of a person who loves to change stacks. Suppose in you don't want only be in a single stack for long time. You want your profile to
Okay.
be changed after some time, like your job profile is going to be changed. So then also service
Right.
based plays a great role here, because here kind of a versatile job profiles are present,
Yeah.
where you generally changes your job profiles. So it's
Yeah, because client needs are very dynamic. So whosoever resource is working,
yes.
so they can be trained in that way, and you can even change your profile in that way.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. And when there are multiple projects, so if suppose one project ends, or you think that I want to do some, like I want to change, so if that project's completed or somehow, so you also go to another project, and there you are having different clients, different needs, everything is different. So that also give
Yeah.
you opportunity where you are interacting with new peoples, new environments, and so that's again one advantage. And other, I think the last one I would want to add is, being in a service-based company, you get the opportunity of to work on site. So basically,
Okay.
yeah. So that's, I think, again advantage. After 2-3 years, you will have a chance if you are capable enough, and you can do that. Then if you prove yourself, then definitely you will get a chance, and then you can, like you travel also, like US, UK. You can have a travel, and so that's
Okay.
again, and like you can definitely package wise is also be great having there, and working on site is, I mean it's a kind of really great exposure also.
Like I have seen people complaining about the compensation in mass recruiting companies. I know it's a debated topic. I would definitely not deep dive into it, or even won't ask how much you are earning. But actually, I just want your opinion on this, like this statement, like how much you agree, or like what is your perspective about that?
Okay, sure, sure. Yeah, so I mean, I have also heard the same, that about the compensation and all. Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
true. But I want to touch something. I mean, I want to add some different perspective to it, and
Okay.
that is basically, see, like when you're a trainee, when you joined as a fresher. So I think, like at that time, if you don't have any financial, I mean, issues. I mean, if you have financial issues, then this might not be relevant for you. But if you are
Right.
okay with your finances and the things are fine, then I think you must not think much about the compensation and salary at the starting of your career. Like as a trainee, you joined, so you should be focusing on the learning stuff, right? What I'm going to learn, how will I save my career, my future, and where I will
Yeah.
go. So you must firstly focusing on that. That is first high priority, and then I would say, after, like, yes, after 2-3 years, maybe you can feel that the compensation is quite not okay, because because your friends, I mean, suppose someone switches and they are getting good pay, and then you feel that
Yeah,
kind of
that
underpaid.
competitive feeling basically
Exactly.
pushes you to like think in that direction.
Exactly. So people say, yeah, then they think, okay, I want to be also financially more independent, and kind of thoughts come into my
Yeah,
minds. So that's
correct.
what. But I would definitely say that at the time of, if a fresher is coming, at the time of you just completed your college and then you enter in a company. So I also think
Mhm.
that with that much of initial package, what other things company provides, like the infrastructure, the resources they have, the learning opportunities, I mean, you can get. So I think that will balance out at least for that period of time. I mean, when you initially join and as a
Yeah.
trainee and all. So I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel about the compensation.
So, Siddharth, like you said, you got the placement in Infosys from your college itself, right? So, what's the level of interview in Infosys? Like, what kind of preparation is expected from a fresher?
Okay, so yeah, so I would say that at the like at my time, if you are good at your basics, suppose if you know any programming language, it's okay. If
Okay.
you know any one programming language, and if you are good at its basic, how actually things work, loops work, like you know what is like pass by reference, pass by value, all those stuff, like if you know the basics kind of. So, and you have
Mm-hmm.
kind of project also along with you, I mean, you have worked on some projects. So I think that's okay. I mean, they want to ask, like, kind of deep data structure algorithm kind of big questions kind of, though there will be an easy
Okay.
question. And I would definitely, before that interview, you will also be having a kind of online exam you need to clear
Mm-hmm.
that. So in that they put basically, aptitude, reasoning, English, and some coding questions was there. I know basic coding questions were
Okay.
there. So if you are good at these stuff, if you clear the online exam and then you come for the interview, so basically an interview, only, I mean, if you are have a programming language, as I said, so you are good to go if you know the basics. So yeah, that's good. But I want to add there one point also that I was not aware that time. I think that would help
Okay.
also. So yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, Infosys, I mean, TCS, and any other companies, they also have, high profiling job basically they give. Like in Infosys,
Mm-hmm.
we have heard the power programmer role, systems engineer specialist role. So what how they
Okay.
basically give is like, so they conduct a national level contest, Hack with Infi. Like if I talk about Infosys, so it is Hack with Infi.
Okay.
So what it does is basically they put some 3 or 4 questions, I think, coding questions, data structure algorithms questions will be there. If
Mm-hmm.
you clear, I mean, if you solve all the questions with a good time complexity and in an optimized way, so you will get a
Mm-hmm.
chance to become a kind of power programmer, and it's a cool profile at Infosys, and
Okay.
it's a high package job also. I mean, it's a really very big difference from the basic like system engineer and a power programmer. It's a big difference actually. So
That's great.
that's I mean, I was not aware of that at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and another one is, if you suppose if you're not able to solve all the questions with optimized
Mm-hmm.
time complexity and all, if you solve 1 or 2 questions, so still you have a chance of becoming a systems engineer specialist. So it is a kind of
Okay.
upper role again, from system engineer, then system engineer specialist, and then a power programmer. So
Okay.
the system engineer specialist is also, a package wise is also good than systems engineer, and I think you will also get that particular chance. And same, I think, with, I mean, other companies like TCS also run some TCS digital or something where they do all this kind of same thing. So yeah.
Okay, Siddharth. So I think we have covered enough points and we have talked about all the different perspective of service-based companies. I'll wrap up this session with one last final question. You can just share your perspective, like since you have only worked in the service-based firm so far, but you might have heard about the working culture in product-based companies or from your, let's say, peers or your colleagues or your friends or your network, right? So based on their thoughts or based on their experience and including your experience, what's your opinion about the working in service-based firm and the product-based firm?
So basically these two firms are, I mean, totally, I mean, different, as they have
Mm-hmm.
their different businesses running. People have different mindset when they work in those firms. They have different work culture also. So yeah, I feel that, like, basically the main difference is like the service based company is kind of, if I give you an analogy, so a kind of, suppose
Mm-hmm.
I have read it somewhere, like it's a kind of restaurant, and and a product based company is a kind of ice cream parlor, if you say, like. So
Okay.
basically, what happens is you go in the restaurant. So basically, you order your food, like what kind of food you want to eat. So and ice cream parlor on the other hand has already made food products there. Like they have their ice creams kind of thing, and now they will sell it. They will market and sell their
Yeah.
products. So that's the difference. So in the service based companies, clients come, they put their needs and on the table, like we want this to be built, we want that, and then we basically fulfill their needs and make that product, basically product or service,
Okay.
whatever it is. And on the other hand, on the product based companies, like they already had their products built according to already analyzing the needs of the market and how things are going. You are just going to pick that product. So basically that's a kind of a difference between these two, how the work culture is there. But I would also add this, we do comparisons also a lot of service based companies and product based companies. But I want to add, see, if you are doing a comparison, that's okay, that's completely okay. But we should not conclude any comparison by saying something is good or something is bad. Actually,
Yeah. Right.
both are good in their own fields, like both are the masters of their own fields, kind of thing.
I really like the information you shared, Siddharth, for the service-based firms, and I hope our audience would have enjoyed this conversation and your experience, your journey, and your perspective about the service-based companies working at Infosys, culture, tech stack, everything. These points will help my audience to make up their mind, and I hope now you will be able to understand that at the early phase why you shouldn't put yourself in the comparisons and all, whether it is compensation or product or service. Everything has its own pros and cons, so just understand these things and take your decisions accordingly. So I would like to thank you very much, Siddharth, for joining us on this podcast and sharing your valuable experience and what your perspective about the Infosys. It would be really helpful for everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Sasank. Really, I also hope the same, that your audience might get some insight about how things work and what's there in there for you, for them to in a service-based company. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this chance.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure, Siddharth. So I hope we'll cross our bridge
Yes,
again. And
sure,
just till
definitely.
then, stay safe. And if you enjoyed the podcast, then make sure to give a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon. So I will see you guys with another amazing podcast in the next weekend. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.